and welcome to the Hotkeys podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything pop culture and random in the world. I'm your host, Mick, and today I'm joined by
Wil Dobratz.
Landon Browning.
And it's just
David Parker in the sky.
David's in the sky. He's not joining us.
He's a sky man now.
Yeah.
The sky.
Anyway, welcome to the show. It's I don't know what day it is. 18th, 19th?
It's the
18th.
the last day of the PlayStation sale going on.
February.
It's such a stupid way to remember dates.
Which, if you're listening to this episode, you'll never hear it in time to go and get any of the deals because it'll be gone. So
What's out? What are the deals?
just a bunch of it's a critic's choice. So like a lot of like really well reviewed games from like the past year or two.
Any free games?
No, there's no free games.
Not worth it.
Yeah, it's already over with, actually.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, must have ended at 10 a.m. today.
That's too bad.
That's weird. Did it start today?
No, it
No.
started like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks
Oh.
ago.
I was like, why would they go?
I like went back and forth whether I was going to buy the new Horizon game for like the entire sale, and then I just didn't. So
Good. Horizon's overrated.
I never played the second one.
I haven't either.
Yeah, it kind of goes to show that it is overrated, you know?
Is that what classifies it?
No, I don't know.
I don't know if it's as overrated as God of War, but like it might be a little.
I feel like
Stop.
I don't feel like it's overrated. I feel like it's perfectly rated because I
Yeah.
feel like I don't hear about it that much.
Yeah, people aren't like gushing over it.
Yeah.
It got overshadowed. Like both games that came out were overshadowed by Elden Ring and then like Breath of the Wild.
No, I heard somebody say like, "Oh, I like it more than Breath of the Wild. It's a better game than Breath of the Wild." Back, like the first one, back when it came out, and I was like,
I heard some takes like that. I haven't played Breath of the Wild, but I liked the first one. The story was, I thought, like not very good.
"Yeah, no,
I don't really remember
The combat was
story.
very fun.
it's exactly yeah."
I think the most interesting part of that game is the world, just like the world building. Like, oh, like this technology is really cool.
Yeah.
What's happened is pretty cool, but like the actual like story you go through with your character, I really don't.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm not interested in.
I think the most interesting part of the game was like the beginning part, and then it just like got way too big, and it's like, oh, I don't care anymore.
The archery was fun though,
Yeah.
especially when you would find like a really big like dino robot that like you're clearly not supposed to be fighting. You're like running for your life, like, and you're like, oh no, it's
And you're just
I got stuck
pelting
on,
arrows
like,
at it,
a
and it's just bouncing off.
Robo pterodactyl for like so long.
Oh, you had to do the
Yeah.
like the you had to pin it down
I
basically.
think I finally just ran away.
Yeah,
Like, screw this.
I think we should just probably get right to it, right?
the elephant in the room.
The elephant, yeah. I think like we
The MODOK in the room.
I think we need to talk about what I would only describe as like a borderline religious experience. I think.
I didn't see the face of God yesterday, but I saw the face of something. So, gosh.
Spoiler warning
I'm gonna
for
do
Ant-Man and the Wasp.
I'm gonna do a little disclaimer here. I apologize if we can't get through talking about a lot of this without just like laughing like uncontrollably for a little bit. Fair warning.
Hello, this is David interjecting. I am not here for the recording. This is recorded weeks later. I am also giving a warning that because of the nature of this movie, the other guys advise that I do not listen to what they talk about before I see the movie. I have not seen the movie yet, so I'm going to go ahead and skip over large chunks of this episode in editing. So fair warning, the next portion where they talk about the movie is going to be unedited, so I apologize in advance if there's anything bad said. Thank you.
But a group of us went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Yeah, don't forget
Quantumania,
about
sorry.
Evangeline.
I felt like the movie forgot about her. She was not really
That important.
that, except for like and we're going to spoil this movie.
Yeah,
by
we're
the
gonna
way.
spoil.
The whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it wasn't until like the very last point that it was like, oh, I guess she's kind of important. Like she did something. But I feel like most of the time it's just like, oh, where's Scott?
yeah. God, I'm gonna come get you.
I'm gonna find you. Where are you?
I think there's another moment like, and both those times, like full spoilers, she rescues Scott. Both times she's important. She just rescues Scott because there's the time where they're in the billion time dimension. She's important. She rescues Scott. There's at the end she rescues Scott. So it's like her character was dependent upon rescuing Scott.
She's also an actress, in my opinion, that looks way better with longer hair. I was not digging her haircut in this.
Didn't like the short.
I
Did
thought
she
it was
not have
fine.
the short one in the second movie?
She had like a pixie, or is that what's called? Dixie?
No,
Whatever?
Pixie is like
Pixie?
what she had in this.
Oh no,
one, I
what's
think.
the like down to the jawline.
I don't know.
Whatever that is.
Yeah. I don't know.
I just know her so well from Lost, and she always had longer hair.
Yeah.
Man, she's so hot.
I thought she was fine. Okay.
She's like an interesting actress though, because she has not been in that much. Like she's been in like a lot of really like big properties, but like her acting, like it's Lost, and then she did like the 2 or 3 Hobbit movies.
She was in Real Steel.
Come on, man. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's like Lost, which is iconic. People
She was
like,
some background characters in Smallville.
was she?
She was.
Dude, come on.
You know her entire IMDb. Like
I was rewatching some old episodes, and I was like, "Hey."
you were rewatching Smallville.
Well, okay, so
Hey.
so Michael Rosenbaum and Tom Welling, who starred in the show, they're doing a rewatch podcast, and so I've been rewatching with them and listening to their.
Not only did they milk that show out, they're gonna milk like 400 episode podcast.
I think every episode, Michael Rosenbaum like craps on each episode. He's like, "This is terrible. What is with this writing? This makes no sense. Why did I do that acting? You know."
I mean, he probably made a lot of money doing it, right? Would be my guess. Like,
Probably.
He's just biting the hand that fed him for like so long
for
like,
more money. 'Cause he's
for
doing
more money.
He's also someone that is like very like at least
a
from what I
funny
see with
guy,
his
like-
from his Inside of You podcast and now this new one that he's doing. He's very like upfront and he'll just say whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, he doesn't strike me as someone that would be like, "Oh, I have to kind of lie about this because you know I
They
worked
paid
on
me,
it."
yeah.
Blah blah blah. It's like no, he's like, yeah.
Well, that
this
show's
sucks.
pretty well. I mean, it's regarded as being like pretty campy and like not.
I would say,
Right?
yeah, I would say overall it's cheesy. I have a lot of nostalgia for that show, and I think some episodes are legitimately good, but overall, it's like, yeah, I can look at that and say, yeah, that's pretty. One, that's pretty outdated because it's 20 years old now, and two, it's like, yeah, it's a little cheesy,
Yeah.
but anyway, Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Do we just want to start from the like? Do we want to go through like? I mean, there's clearly the point in the movie where like everything changes, but like, do we want to like
Everything.
like? Do we want to like just start from the beginning? And,
Yeah,
like,
yeah. So the movie starts with everything's good in Scott Lang's life.
yeah. He's reading his
Nothing's-
book. Everybody gives him stuff for free. Like he's super happy.
I just realized too that Michael Pena and like that group weren't
Just
even
not in the movie at all. Yeah, they just
which is weird.
Well, it's
like there
because-
wasn't like even a little bit of like
He wasn't.
Hey.
Yeah, he wasn't in the movie. Like,
Yeah.
which is like,
he was in the last two.
yeah. That's also going to lead to like my complaints with the film is that the first two are like kind of like heist movies, a little bit. I felt like not quite
Yeah,
completely. This is just not.
I
at
can
all.
look at this movie and say I don't know what genre this was. There was like 10 minutes. It was like I guess this is a heist. Maybe.
Felt like a sci-fi movie. to be
No,
honest.
I
Like,
think it's an adventure movie. I would say
It definitely
Like,
was an
it's-
adventure.
it's kind of like Journey to the Center of the Earth kind of vibes.
Yeah, I mean, it
Yeah.
definitely was like weird. And I
Yeah.
guess one of the writers from Rick and Morty
Yeah,
wrote it,
okay, that really checks
which
out.
yeah, it
it really checks out.
makes a lot of sense.
I'm kind of a sucker for like this kind of sci-fi. I don't know, like at points. I don't know. I just like the cool like. I don't know. I thought the
Hey,
world
I'm gonna
was
be
kinda
real with you,
cool.
man. There was nothing cool about this movie.
Oh, okay. Hold on. We'll
Okay,
get
there maybe
there.
was
We'll
a
get
couple.
there. We'll
like,
get
there was a
there.
couple,
So
like,
first of all, it's however many years after Endgame. So, the daughter,
Cassie.
Cassie.
You can't even remember the daughter's name.
No, I'm telling you. Like, I only have one memory of this movie, really. And we'll get to it. Cassie is, to me, a completely different character than she's been in the other movies. And granted, there was a big time jump, so she did a lot of, growing and aging on her own.
well, also,
without-
didn't she not get blipped?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So she stayed unblipped, and she's, I think, 5 or however 6 years older.
Did
than
her
she
mom
was.
get blipped too, though? Like, I think her family got blipped, right? But she didn't, or something. I think there was something where she was alone, like,
I don't know.
but the mom also wasn't in the movie either, or
She was mentioned, but not
or the boyfriend, like
the cop.
Yeah, just not.
Yeah, which I can understand that. I mean, that they're not really that integral to the story, but so that was kind of my first like, I don't know, like she She's kind of annoying.
She was extremely annoying. Like,
yeah,
I felt very unfair to Scott and like what he even says like hey, like back off. I like saved the universe. Can I just have like a little bit of a breather? And it's like, look, I know
like,
you
I'm
did
helping
that,
people
but no. That's not good
literally
enough.
like went back through time and like saved humanity. Like saved half the Earth's population. Then she's like mad that like he's not helping with like homeless people. Like it's like I don't want to be the guy that like I felt like they like tried to shoehorn like very quickly like some like hot topics like some social things into the movie like right off the bat.
That's pretty blunt.
Which I'm like, okay,
pretty front and center.
maybe you're right. There's nothing cool in this movie.
like and she was really annoying. I don't think she's a bad actress. I think she's been in some stuff that like is fairly well regarded, but like I did not feel like they did her any favors with the writing. Like
I don't think so.
Because
it's also a different actress than the one in Endgame.
Well, what's crazy is
They
the
recast her.
original actress found out about the recast through like social media.
That's terrible.
They didn't tell her.
That's terrible.
dang.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why they did it is just they cast the original one too old. Because it was only 5 years that passed, and then
Who was the actress that played her?
I don't remember.
Oh, wasn't that the gal from like 13 Reasons Why?
I don't think
Or no?
No, that was for Tony Stark's daughter.
Oh, okay.
And I guess they filmed stuff with her, but they never put it in the movie.
Oh, okay. That would always
the final.
be kind of like a bummer. Like,
Yeah.
I think you still get paid and everything.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
right?
You,
But like,
yeah, you definitely still get paid. But you don't get the recognition of being like, hey, I was in like.
do you
one
get
of the,
in the like on IMDb? Are you in like the? Cause sometimes you see it like
you might
down
be
the
in,
bottom, like it says like
yeah, I think you are.
scenes deleted or something. Like that's all right. I guess that's something. Like, yeah, I can't remember because it's. I mean, the actress. It wasn't the same actress that played her in like the first two Ant-Man movies, right? That played her in Endgame.
No, that actress would still be pretty young.
Yeah.
I think.
So the actress is Emma Furman. Let me see. She's been in not much that is
This is the
notable.
The first actor.
Yes, this is the older Cassie in Endgame.
How much
Emma
was
Furman.
how much was Cassie in
She's-
Endgame? Was she not? She wasn't in that much, was she?
No, just like one scene, two scenes.
Yeah, basically.
She was 20. The actress is 21 years old. Catherine Newton is 26 years old, who played
Cassie in this.
Cassie in this film.
I don't know.
So,
I mean, they recast sometimes. I mean, they recast for different.
She's a much more high-profile actor or actress. She's been in a lot more, but still, it's kind of, I don't know, to find out about that in the way that it happened is pretty messed up.
Yeah. Was she auditioning for that role, or was it just like they just didn't even like reach out to her to like come back?
Oh, it was just I think it was just that it was announced that they're gonna change like I don't know like the specifics. It's just that she found out that
I'm assuming if she found out online, she probably didn't audition.
yeah.
Yeah, but her character in this movie, like the social issues she's bringing up, like it's not played. I'm not gonna talk too much about this movie, but I watched like Bodies, which is like a comedy, and a lot of the characters are like talk about all these like social topics, but it's like clearly played for satire. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing with this, like all the stuff she's talking about is like just portrayed like she's like some righteous figure in this movie when it's like comes off as like just obnoxious.
It was not earned.
Yeah,
it felt very out of place and like, wait, where is this coming from?
Yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah, so her character was not good in my opinion. She had no growth throughout the film either. Not that I guess that's further down the line in reviewing the movie or talking about it, but I never felt like there was any kind of like, oh, this is how I can actually help people. It was just like she just immediately was like, her character had no growth from start to finish. Like,
yeah,
in my
really.
opinion, like, I'm trying to think of a moment where there was like a change.
No, I don't think so. I think it was just I don't know. I think it was Scott who mostly changed. Like, actually, Scott didn't change either.
No.
Yeah, I don't think anybody had any growth.
There is no
movie.
character. There's no character development.
Like all the conflict that happens between Scott and Cassie is just like completely dropped.
Yeah, they
Right.
never have any like
Resolution.
because like their conflict at the beginning is him being like, there's a different way to like help people. and she's like, "Oh, help!" You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
then,
we
like,
gotta help everybody.
And then like, there's no like, he doesn't show her how he, you know, it just nothing. Like,
It would have been interesting to be like Scott was like, "Oh, well, we can't help. Like, we have to choose who we help, basically."
yeah,
Right, and it just plays more into that. But they didn't do that. They just kind of waited around. I don't know. I felt like this movie was like, it didn't know what it wanted to do with a lot of its characters.
yeah.
Except one.
Yeah, so that just like a whiff, and then like the whole like, I guess the basis of the movie is like, they're like, it opens with Scott all happy, and then like he has to go to get his daughter out of jail, and then they go home and have pizza, and then they literally go in the basement and like start opening up the quantum realm, and then the mom character, what's Michelle Pfeiffer, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
She's like, "Oh no, you can't do this," like blah 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 blah, like. And all I'm gonna be like, this is so stupid that like this movie, like the first Ant-Man movie, they're like, if you go down in the quantum realm or like the Quantumanium, whatever, like you're just gonna infinitely shrink for eternity. And then the second one, they're like, oh no, the mom's still alive, like, and then they get her out of like the nothingness, and then like she doesn't tell them that any of this stuff's going on down there. Like, why would she not tell them? Like,
It's just an example of like,
loophole, like just like
they're just trying to write more from what they established without justifying clever reasons why, you know?
Yeah.
Like, they're just like, oh, we can have a whole society be in the quantum realm.
yeah. Well, it's like the thing, like she had like friends down there, like, and she just like left them all to die, like,
Yeah.
when it was like her fault, like partially her fault. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, what?
Yeah.
Like, okay, like you're just
Yeah.
totally cool with like leaving all these people here, like.
Yeah, no, the quantum realm is definitely like, it serves any it serves a plot in like any way that the writers wanted to. It's just a stupid plot device. Because yeah, it's like, wait, the quantum realm does this in one movie, and then it does something completely different in the other movie. Like in Endgame, they established Scott was down there for 5 minutes, his time, or 5 hours, and then real world, it's 5 years.
Yeah.
And then in this movie, it's like, I guess no time passed. Maybe not. They don't really say, but it doesn't seem like it at all. Yeah, there's just a lot that's weird. Although, jumping to the end of the movie, there was like a couple lines here and there that was like, I think some things changed, because he goes to like get a coffee and he's like, wow, $12. That's expensive.
Oh.
Although I guess in the beginning of the movie he gets it for free, doesn't he?
Yeah.
So maybe it's just like, oh,
joke.
He's not used to paying.
Yeah.
I think it was that he's not used to paying for stuff.
I guess that's
like,
what it was. Either way, it was not very clear of like what
That was
they were
like the
going
only time I thought the movie was actually like, I thought they were gonna do something like kind of interesting, was
always-
the very end. Like it was
always
like
felt like something was
right
like
there,
like a door was going to open. You were going to be like, whoa, like that was unexpected. Like it always seemed like the movie was about to teeter that way, and it just never did.
I saw a theory online that about something. They think something like. I'll save it for later when we talk about like the true, like when we get to the ending of the movie. But there's there's a theory I read online that I actually really think is possibly accurate.
Oh, okay.
But we'll get to there. It just when talking about the ending reminded me of it. But
so they go to the quantum realm.
yeah, they go to
and
the
it's
quantum
like,
realm.
Now it's just like a weird, like goofy, like live action Rick and Morty like world. Now.
Yeah.
Like,
Well, and so Janet Van Dyne had been saved in the last movie, and apparently she had been hiding a bunch of crucial information about the quantum realm.
yeah.
Which I don't get how you hide that, especially from your family. Like that's one of my biggest complaints.
Yeah, I'm
with
like,
this
she's
movie.
a horrible person if she did. Like you're a horrible person.
Like, how do you not tell your husband about like
about Bill Murray?
About
Bill
Bill
Murray.
Murray for 50 years or whatever.
yeah?
That was so weird.
That was a weird like plot point of like, yeah, that made me a little uncomfortable.
And then, like,
needs.
in fact, like Michael Douglas's character just like kills Bill Murray. Like he's like, oh yeah, you screwed my wife like when she was trapped down here, even though like, I left her down here. Like, you know, like, oh,
Yeah.
now you get eaten by the like creature thing that you were eating, or like it was like, okay. Like
Yeah, there was a lot weird.
I wonder how much Bill Murray was paid for like his one day on set.
He
Like,
probably got paid the most out of all of them.
yeah. I mean, they had to have done all this like filming in like 1 or 2 days, right? Like,
Probably like an afternoon.
yeah.
He's like, I'm only doing
He's
one.
so
I'm only
old. He
doing
looks
one
so
take.
he's so old now. Like,
They're all getting old.
Michael Douglas looked old. Like
He looked old, but for his age, he probably still looks pretty good.
yeah, I want to see how old Michael Douglas is. It's kind of like the Patrick Stewart effect, where it's like they look the same age until like a certain point, and then it's like, dang, you look old.
Man, this movie, like,
He's 78. Michael Douglas is 78.
wait, what?
Yeah.
Dang.
I would not have guessed he was that old.
He's still younger than Harrison Ford.
Harrison Ford, like, he needs to like
Retire.
He either needs to just get like take like one last long plane ride by himself, you know what I mean, go off in the sunset, like, or he needs to just stop. Like,
I'm so excited for the new movie.
no, I am, yeah. I'm stoked. I'm all in.
Yeah. Patrick Stewart's 82 years old.
Wow. Is Harrison Ford 80 or 81?
80.
80, okay.
Man.
I'm just glad that they were able to get Picard season 3 filmed. You know.
Oh, yeah. I'm heard it's a masterpiece.
This movie though, I'm just gonna like this movie had no stakes either. Like throughout the movie, I'm watching like nothing happens of consequence. I feel.
But if Kang breaks out, he's going to kill multiverses, even though it's not going to affect the current universe.
Well, I thought Kang was gonna break. Like spoiler, I thought Kang was gonna make it out.
Yeah.
I thought that was gonna be the point of the movie. Like he gets out and then he's gonna be wreaking havoc in the next like film.
There's a theory that has to do with the theory.
Oh, okay.
That I'll share. I guess I'll just share it now.
Yeah, share it,
So
like-
at the end of the movie, how they defeat Kang gets sucked into the orb that they're trying to get for a good
Whatever
portion of the
time
movie,
things, whatever.
where you have infinite versions of yourself infinite possibilities of yourself start popping up.
Yeah.
The theory that I read online was that the infinite like Kang is that version of Kang is the Conqueror. That version of Kang is actually going to be the main villain going forward. He's going to be stuck there fighting billions of himself, and somehow he's going to break out and be like the ultimate Kang.
Oh.
So he's going to like
Because
be
the
stuck
rest
there.
of the Kangs. Well, this is the confusing part because in Loki, the series, they were talking about there's one Kang that's like the top dog
Yes.
that like they're all scared of, that they want to like protect everybody else from.
Yes.
It alludes to it that like this is that guy,
Yeah.
but now they're like all up for like, hey, we need to band together, and
None of this movie made any sense.
it doesn't make sense.
I think that what they're going for, like, especially with the ending with Scott, where he was like, "Oh, we beat him, right?" You know,
That was like the most interesting part of the movie, like when he's having that, like he's all happy walking down the street, like his same monologue basically from the beginning, and then he's like, "Oh wait, like did I like do something like wrong? Did I mess up?" Like I'm like, and I was sitting there, I'm like, "Oh," I'm like, "Is this gonna have like an interesting like
That's what
little
that's
turn
what
right
it
here at
was.
the end?"
It was like there were so many things in the movie. It was like I feel like, oh, like this is it. So like this is the interesting thing that's gonna happen, and then it just turns into a joke, which is whatever.
Yeah, it was the only part of the movie I felt any tension was like the last 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Even when they're in the like the little restaurant having the cake, I'm like, is something gonna happen?
It felt like something was like, oh, here's like the secret fourth act of the movie.
yeah, and then it didn't, and I'm like,
yeah.
all right, well, this movie was just stupid. Like, so, I mean, I don't know if we can go any further. I can't go any further without talking about like.
There's one saving grace to this movie, I feel like.
I need to put my muffin.
Your muffin down. You're gonna take, well, hey, let me get a sip of coffee too, because if I try to drink like after we talk about this, I'm gonna spit it up. So.
Yeah. Same.
Up to this point in the movie, I was kind of nodding off, like in the theater, like I was like getting pretty tired. Like I'm like it was like really boring. Like
Well, okay, so first of all, they're down in the quantum realm. They'd keep dropping lines of like, there's this hunter that is like let loose and he's gonna find you.
He's machine, not man, or something like that.
He's like
He's a biotech
everybody
weapon.
fears him, and everyone's like, oh man, we got to be quiet or we're gonna alert this guy. he ends up being alerted and comes to. Does he happen upon the like Janet?
It's Scott. No, it's Scott.
No, it's Scott and Cassie
first.
when
Okay.
they're with the weird group of rebels.
Right. Drink my ooze or whatever.
Drink my ooze. Yeah, you drank my ooze.
Oh,
How many
yeah.
holes do you have?
Oh,
what
my
a
God.
what funny material.
Yeah.
I was laughing so hard. Oh my gosh.
The Rick and Morty humor just does not translate to like this kind of like to live action like feature length.
Yeah,
like,
and it honestly felt like someone trying to do the Rick and Morty, like way out there humor.
yeah.
And it just a lot of it fell flat.
Yeah. That humor works in like a 20-minute episode, not
Yes,
a 2-hour movie.
20-minute animated episode.
Yeah.
What kind of worked was a character design specifically. For those that don't know, there's a character called MODOK in the Marvel universe. Basically, he looks like a thumb with tiny little legs and tiny little arms sticking out of him. And
They'd made a Hulu show about him.
they made a Hulu
recently,
show
like
with
Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, Patton Oswalt, which I think is done.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
I think it
like
was
one or
only
two
like one or
seasons.
2 seasons. So, so they decided to have this character in the movie, and I'll tell you, Landon's right, because up to this point, I was like, whatever.
I was checked out. Like, well, he comes in, he flies down, and he's like pretty menacing looking. Like, you know what I mean? He's like this robot thing with like a creepy mask. Like,
Yeah,
and he's talking, and it's you're like, oh, like he clearly like he says like, oh, hey Scott, like, and you're like, oh, like who's this guy? Like, like he knows it, and then he's like, wait, who are you? And he's like, you don't remember? And then like, dude, like they show a flashback. They show a flashback to the first Ant-Man movie with the villain. What's his name? Darren Cross. or
Darren
something,
Cross,
who was like
who
his
was the
actor,
I forget.
the bum, like he was a bee. His suit was like
Hornet. Was it Hornet?
Yellow Jacket.
Yellow Jacket. Yeah, Yellow Jacket.
He's been in a bunch of movies and TV shows. Like,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh, like they brought him back, like his character, quote unquote, died because he like Scott sent him to the quantum.
And honestly, that was like one of the cooler parts of the movie where it's like, hey, that's something that makes sense.
Yeah, he got
it does a
sent
call
here.
back to the first movie. I can buy that like this guy turned into like this thing. Like, okay, that's a cool connection. However,
Oh my god, dude! Like,
What did he look like, Michael?
basically, he's I think you put it really well, Will, when you said it was like a 4:3 ratio stretched out to
16:9.
16:9, and it's just the guy's weirdly distorted face in this like
So
I mean,
don't-
it's some of the worst special effects I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
I don't think we can properly describe it to give it justice.
His mask
really
opened and
can't.
showed his face, and I literally was like, I was
you
like,
heard the audience go and it wasn't like, oh, they're trying to do some. I mean, I think they were trying to make it ridiculous, but
like
I think
only
that,
like half the time.
I think the audience was like a level past that, and they're laughing like, oh, this is ridiculously stupid. Like,
Yeah.
it's just so
It
dumb.
looks so awful.
And I'm the type of person that, and I grew up with Dave. Dave and I are brothers. We have been guilty so many times of getting the giggles in like really like not great places. And it just keeps going. And we just, we're immature and we can't get a rein on things. This was one of those times for me where as soon as he came on screen, I was done. I could not focus on anything else. Anytime like a silent part would come up in the movie, I was like picturing MODOK's face. When Kang shows his giant army, I was picturing all of them as MODOKs. I was like,
Yeah.
how funny it would be if like all of like these thousands of soldiers were just MODOKs, just thousands of his faces.
I wish he would have gone into the thing where you start like multiplying, like, because that would have been like they show him, and then like it's like the characters are like somewhat aware that he's stupid looking, but they don't play it like
No,
there'll be scenes where like they're having like dramatic, like I'm gonna say they're trying to have a dramatic scene, and he's just like floating in the
background,
background, but like his visor's open, so like you can just kind of see half
like
his face.
staring off into like nothing.
And it's like I can't. The moment he showed on the screen, I'm like, I can't take anything else that happens in this movie seriously.
I honestly like
they could blow Paul Rudd's head off like in the movie, and I like wouldn't be able to take it seriously. Like they could like brutally murder his character.
The rest of the movie, I was like, that's all I see. I'm only seeing this guy's
MODOK, baby.
And he's in the movie a lot. Like
a lot more than I thought.
Like I
thought he was gonna be like a one and done villain, like like in like one fight scene and then dies or something like that.
Yeah,
he's in about half of this movie.
Yeah. I kept literally the entire movie was like going from scene to scene. I'm like, oh, like come on, just, like show him again.
And the craziest part is you see his butt. You literally see his naked butt in the MODOK form. Like he's in the MODOK form, and he has the smallest bare butt you can ever see. It's I don't know. It's just like, man. I mean, know.
It's like they ironically made probably like one of the funniest movies I've ever seen. Just for like
legitimately, that was one of the most entertaining movies I have seen in the past like 2 or 3 years. And
I just kept looking over at everybody else that we were watching with, and like I could tell everybody was like struggling, like to like keep it together.
Like tears were just pouring out of my face, and I've said this many times where I'm a person in the movie theater that I want to be respectful to others. I want everybody to shut up. Like if it's a funny moment, yeah, you can laugh, but then like, okay, that's it, move on, or don't talk, whatever. I was the guy that was like, I cannot control myself. And thank God I had an extra coat, because that coat was in my face for the rest of the movie. You had your face
buried into it.
Dude, if I didn't have that, I would have had to walk out. Because I was just like constantly laughing into my jacket. I could like not, an insane person. I could not stop. It was, I felt really bad because I was like, I don't want to be a distraction, but I'm really like,
hey man, it's not your fault. It's not your fault, man. Like they did something so outrageous.
Like I was like biting my coat. I was like, and like, like a quiet moment would come up, and I'd be like,
especially like I like there'd be MODOK in the background, and I'd like giggle a little bit. I think you could hear me, and then you start
I'd giggle,
busting
you
out.
Giggle, Josh would giggle,
and then like I hear Landon to my right, who's also dying, and it's just, being in between you two at the theater was probably like one of the best experiences ever.
I really like. I always cherish going to the movies like when they play like a Fast and Furious trailer, because I just like I don't even hold it back. I just laugh outrageously at them because they're like insane.
Yeah,
I thought that was the hardest I was gonna laugh, because I'm like there can't be anything more insane when they show like a Fast 10 trailer, and then that showed up like, and I'm like
that's saying a lot that they talk.
I cannot believe
Fast 10 trailer.
And thank God I was sitting there, at least sitting next to people I knew, because I would have felt really. I definitely would have left if I was sitting next to a stranger. But oh my gosh, like it was impossible not to laugh and like just constantly think about it. It was the hardest, like the most difficult time I've ever had sitting in a movie theater. Because I like at some point I was like, okay, I'm kind of like trying to like follow this movie, like. I paid money. I'm like, okay, what's going on? And then I just MODOK.
Well, I think 3/4 of the way through the movie, I realized I paid money, not because it's a good movie, but because like I got my value out of it. If you get what I'm saying, from like the amount of stupid stuff that was in the movie, rather than like it was actually a good movie.
I think it's the saving grace of the film, to be honest. Like in a
unironically,
with,
like.
Unironically,
sorry. Ironically, it's the saving grace of the film. And you say that unironically.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, because like just a few days ago, I watched Thor: Love and Thunder. It actually took me 3 separate sittings to get through it because it was so bad.
Yeah,
and there was nothing like that movie was horrible, and there was nothing funny in it.
No.
Like this had like, for at least after that character shows up throughout the movie, I was just looking forward to.
There was something to laugh at.
Yeah, like. So I'm like, I feel like in that way, it kind of it's not a good movie. It's a really bad movie.
It's bad,
but like, that almost like it made it worth it. I'm like really glad I went and watched it, because like that's like some of the most I've ever laughed in like a theater.
It is probably one of the best ab workouts I've ever had.
Yeah,
because
it's insane. And then like he fights Cassie at one point. She beats him, and it's like, okay, that's it. That's the end of his character. Like, and then he's like the heroic, like what's the term? Like ex machina. Yeah, like he's like he comes in and he's like,
I'm not a dick.
I'm not a dick. My name's Darren. It's supposed to be like dramatic, but I'm like, this is insane. Like he like kind of saves the day, and then like he's dying and like coughing up like saliva and like blood and like.
I'd say like the one like legitimate funny part was when he was like, "Oh, I died in Avenger."
When he said he's like, "You're like a brother to me, Scott." Like, I'm like, what?
Like clearly this guy's insane.
Yeah. Like, yeah, the line like, "At least I died in Avenger." Like that was great. Like,
yeah.
And then like he just dies, like laying there, like
I wanted the after credit, like the after credit scene, so bad to be like MODOK like is somehow still alive. I wanted that so badly.
I was like, gosh, just give me one more. Like,
come on,
give me one more. Come on.
Yeah, but no, they had to put Loki in instead.
Yeah. I will say I think Kang has a lot of potential. I think he was not used well in this movie at all.
They made him too weak, like in my opinion. Like
they made him too weak. They didn't really explain exactly like
his powers were selective.
What he can do. Like, is it his suit that does things? Is it him? Like, it wasn't very clear on like what he's actually capable of.
How they beat him too is kind of like, I don't know. Like it feels like Kang should have won in every aspect. Like they needed to come up with a creative way for like them to barely like to escape. That's what I think.
They should. Yeah.
I still don't understand how he lost.
Well, and I also like
it doesn't make sense.
Michael the ants and MODOK.
They lived 1,000 years.
That's okay. Like,
they somehow lived 1,000 years.
I get that like the Ant-Man movies are supposed to be more fun than like some of the other. You know what I mean? Like they're not as high stakes, but like it felt like they kind of wanted this to be a high stakes movie. You know what I mean? Like they kind of they were toying around with it. Like it had a more serious tone than the other Ant-Man movies. Yeah. But if you're gonna do that, if you have a cast of like 6 main characters, like one of them has to die. Like, you know what I mean? Like there was no stakes.
Or
like,
at least leave like a cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the movie, it's like, oh wow, I think Scott is gonna sacrifice himself and be at least die or be stuck down.
I thought Kang was gonna kill him and they were gonna be able to close the portal.
I thought so too. And then it was like, oh, Hope came back, I guess saved him by shooting him with some zappy things. Like, okay, like I guess that defeats the most powerful person ever.
I guess his suit was broken though at that point.
And that's the thing. It's like, okay, I guess so it's his power suit then? Like, I don't know. Yeah. And then it was like, oh wow, now both of them are going to be stuck down here. That's like sad, but kind of sweet and like poetic. Like, okay. And then like 5 seconds later, it was like, oh no, we fixed the portal. You can come back. No stakes. Everything's fine.
Yeah.
It just felt so flat and was like, okay, like,
also,
what was the point of this?
So it's heavily implied that Michelle Pfeiffer's character was in a romantic relationship with Bill Murray because she had needs. Did she have needs for Kang too? Like were Kang and her?
I don't think so. I'm
never throwing out there. It sound,
don't be disgusting.
I do want to bring up though, at the end, right when Cassie opens the portal. If Cassie didn't open the portal, it would be a huge plot hole. Because she knows how to do that. Like that's literally the reason they got sucked in the first point. So they created a situation where they lose either way. They either get like cheap 5 seconds later, portal opens, or they set up a massive plot hole for them to not be able to get out.
But why would she open it? They don't know that they beat Kang. Like, like she can't see through that. Like, you know what I mean?
And and like at that time, yes, he was pulled back into his little orb thing. But starting that thing in the beginning of the movie was the whole thing about like, don't turn that off. Like you're going to signal, blah, blah, blah. Like why would they risk doing that? Like it doesn't make any sense on their side of things.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't know. Yeah.
There's just a lot of like convenient, stupid stuff in this movie.
Yeah.
And MODOK.
I do feel like I felt like the runtime actually went pretty quick though, to be honest. I thought the pacing actually moved. I
think I just felt like, please, can this movie be over so I can like stop this bad train wreck that I'm on right now? So that was the thing. I was just like, gosh, just please be over. This is terrible. I hate sitting through this.
They
This
don't
is
waste
awful.
it. Yeah, I thought it was good pacing. They didn't waste any time within probably 10 minutes during the quantum realm, maybe 15.
It was pretty quick. Yeah.
So I thought the pacing was good. I didn't really like any of the visuals that much. I thought they were kind of lame.
I actually thought some of the visual effects were pretty bad.
Yeah.
This movie had to be super expensive though. I mean, it's just
it's like
think about,
90% green screen.
all of that visual effects. Like, gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know how well it's gonna do.
It's projected to be triple digits for the weekend, so that's.
I feel
really
like
good.
people should go see it just for MODOK,
Yeah, go with some friends.
just to like have. The
I was a
best
little
laugh
bit
of your life.
I was a little bit intoxicated when I showed up, so that helped. I think the buzz probably wore off by the time that he showed up, though. So I was like,
Did MODOK sober you up right away?
I was like, oh man, like,
Oh my gosh! But yeah, I wish that Dave was there
Oh, that
because
would've been
I
great.
love sharing that like type of experience with him because I know that he would have been like just as gone as the rest of us.
yeah. One of the most memorable theater experiences, I would say.
Oh, yeah,
if not
absolutely.
the most for me. Like,
I
it
would
was like,
say so. Yeah, yeah.
and I'm glad it wasn't just like one of us. Like, I think all 5 of us that were there were like borderline.
Oh, it was our
like,
whole group.
yeah,
I think
yeah.
Jonah every once in a while would be like, okay, like I'm actually trying to watch, but then like I would giggle,
like-
Josh would giggle, you two would giggle, Jonah would actually start giggling, and it was just like, yeah, you can't. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, it was
You
too
can't fight
it was
it.
too absurd because it was like I think if they only showed him in like one scene and then like I would have probably been able to get it back. But like it's like every 15
He's
minutes
there
now
throughout
MODOK's
the
like,
entire
I'm like it's like
movie.
oh my god like. And they showed his face so much. Like I thought, like it would if they just showed his face one time. Like, oh yeah, look,
Yeah.
it's Darren from the movie. And then like he just has the mask on the rest of the movie. But it's like all the time, like he's like showing his
There's
face.
also
like,
there's also a part in the movie where where Scott is like having like a very like serious like negotiation between him and Kang, and then MODOK shows up and then just looking ridiculous. Which of course I start laughing again, and then Kang's like, "Oh, shut up!" and he like flings him across the room, and it's like, okay, they're trying to have like a serious conversation here, but then like MODOK is just like in the middle of it.
You can't-
Like, I can't. Like, what tone are they going for here? It's like clearly I'm gonna
funniest part
just start laughing.
is when Kang like flings him and like MODOK, he like lets out a little grunt at the end. He's like, I just lost it. I couldn't.
I kind of thought they were gonna kill him right there. Like you know what I mean? Like he was
Yeah.
gonna kill him, but I'm like, oh my gosh, like.
But no, he had to say, like, he literally saved the day.
Yeah, I know it's
Like, is
insane.
it-
that They like. I don't know how they. I mean, they had to have known that it was bad, right?
think-
Like,
you know what I
right? Like
think
they know it
happened?
was bad because they were somewhat acknowledgement of it. Like,
You know what I think happened? I think halfway through they realized it was bad. Halfway through making this, they're like, oh crap. Like
doing
this.
screen tests, and they're like, oh, people like aren't. They're like, we need to like do some like reshoots and like have them like be self aware of like how bad.
And
like,
so they turn it into like self. I think that's what happened because there are parts of it where it's like it's a little more serious, and he's there, and then they realized this looks utterly ridiculous, and then I think they changed some of it. That would be my personal theory, but
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I wasn't laughing at it because I was like, aha, this is like,
this is funny.
this is
Like,
clever and funny. I'm like,
It's
aha,
absurd. It's
this
absurd.
is absolutely stupid and
it's
just
absurd. It was
ridiculous.
absurd.
Like,
They
I
were
was
doing.
laughing at the movie. I wasn't laughing with the movie,
Yeah.
if that makes sense.
and that's why
We
it
weren't
was one
supposed
of
to
the
be
most
laughing as hard as we
entertaining.
were.
No,
Like-
no.
like-
Yeah, that's why it's one of the most entertaining movies, though, because you're laughing at it.
Yeah.
and it's just, I don't know. It's
I'm glad
it's
he's in
on
it
the
because
level
if he
of a
wasn't in the
Netflix
movie.
like not Netflix, like Tire or whatever that movie is with the tire that goes around and kills people
Rubber?
or whatever. Rubber, yeah, it's on that level,
Yeah. Well, no. What
borderline.
I think Landon was alluding to, like, if he wasn't in that movie, this movie would have just been
Snooze
another
fest. Yeah.
snooze fest, forgettable, like, oh, it's just, typical Marvel movie, whatever. Like,
Like
I'll forget about it in a month.
I probably won't remember anything that happened in Thor: Love and Thunder
Yeah.
after like a month or two. This I will like always think I'm like
This is,
and he wasn't
like,
integral. I mean, you could have not had him in the movie and everything.
he
could have
saved the
still
day.
had-
What are you talking
I mean,
about?
you could have had somebody like you
No,
could have had the
no,
pink glob guy.
He
whatever.
stopped being a dick.
The pink glob guy that now has holes and is very excited about
that
it.
That great callback to the funny joke from the
I will say he made me laugh almost as hard just based on his run.
Yeah, that was funny.
But again, it was like,
stupid humor. It's
I'm
not
just
smart
laughing
humor.
at the movie.
It's stupid humor. It's stupid humor. It's not like intelligent humor.
But that is one thing about this movie that at least something about it is at the level that I'll remember.
Yeah, it was memorable.
Yeah.
Like
maybe not the way they wanted, but at least
probably not.
Hey, I'll remember
This
that.
is how
movie.
they're launching their new phase.
Yeah, that's the thing too. First, movie,
Kang's the big
5,
villain, and he's the second most memorable villain from the movie.
Well, both Phase 4 started off rough too, because Black Widow was the first film of Phase 4, right?
Yeah.
So if you had to sit down and watch Black Widow or Ant-Man, which would you watch? I'd choose Ant-Man.
I mean, yeah, I don't think I'll watch it.
I would
ever
choose Ant-Man again, just
because of MODOK.
just for MODOK. I don't know if I'd go to a theater again because I don't want to suffer through that again.
Yeah,
Want to go today?
That was really hard. That was really difficult.
I'm getting a phone call. I'll be right back, guys.
Hello.
He's still saying hello.
He said hello.
Maybe there's
4 or
no one
5
there.
times. It's probably a scam call. They call sometimes, and they're like, "Oh, they'll call and not have anybody on the line to see how often you answer your phone from random numbers."
That's smart.
Yeah,
Anyway, anything else about Ant-Man?
dude, I don't know. I think
I think that was like our first thing we said out of the theater was like, I can't wait for the MODOK memes.
Dude, yeah, the MODOK,
Those are
so
gonna,
much meme potential.
Those are gonna come with force. Like,
Yeah.
those are gonna be great. How was your phone call?
I think it was a scammer.
That's what I said.
They're like it was 10 seconds of quiet, and then it was garbled, and it was "Hello, this is Ryan from the Grid Center," and I'm like, "Yeah, what?" And they're like, "We got a coupon with your cell phone number from such and such mall." I'm like, "Oh, no, thank you. Have a good day." And I hung up.
Good job.
You got him.
Yeah, I got him.
So is there anything else, Ant-Man?
I'm trying to think if there's anything else in the film.
I mean, there's a Loki post-credit scene.
That was dumb, I guess. I mean, it was kind of so he's there's a Kang. Is that the first Kang, his back in time or something? Is that
I don't think so, because they showed Kangs from ancient Egypt.
Yeah.
I think it's obviously setting up Loki season 2. I hope that in that season there's a lot more buddy cop with him and Owen Wilson.
Yeah,
'Cause that's what I wanted from the first season.
Seems like
and
there might be.
I didn't really get that, so hopefully that's more front and center. And
When's that supposed to come out? Is that this year?
I think this year, yeah.
That would be nice. It started out like that, and then it was more just serious, drama.
Yeah, I didn't really like the second half of that season.
I can't remember much of it, to be honest. Marvel stuff's hard to. I think the MODOK stuff's funny. I think they probably did themselves a disservice for Kang though, having this his first big. Having it tied to this absurd.
Yeah, I mean, if
Maybe
you think about the introduction of Thanos, it was in a widely loved movie.
Wasn't that at Avengers in the end credits, right?
Yeah, and it was just a little blip, and then he shows up in Guardians, which is a much better movie than this Ant-Man movie.
What does he do in Guardians again?
He communicates a bit with Ronan the Accuser.
Yeah,
but
it's all
he never does anything.
But it's never in a conflicting scene or conflicting characters there. That's what tone is this? It was clear that the tone around Thanos is okay, this guy's scary, and he means business.
Then doesn't he show up at Ragnarok at the very end, right? Is that when he shows up?
You just see a
You
ship.
See a ship, yeah. And then it's what is it, Infinity War?
Yes, where he's the
It
he's
opens
the main
with
villain.
him
Yeah, Infinity War Endgame are where he's both the main villain.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. I'm pretty skeptical. What's the next? Is Guardians 3 the next one?
Guardians 3, then Marvels in November.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that Captain Marvel too?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
What's wrong with Captain Marvel, Landon?
That movie sucked.
Yeah, that was actually. I think I had more enjoyment out of Ant-Man than Captain
Oh
Marvel.
yeah.
Oh, easily.
Well,
My Marvel or our Captain Marvel experience was like a kid like hitting your head over,
touching
and over.
my head.
Yeah,
and
touching your
like,
head over.
Oh,
and over
this
again.
is great.
Yeah, we had a
Crappy
whole
movie and annoying.
We had an
kids everywhere.
entire aisle of kids behind us for like a birthday party.
It was terrible.
yeah.
Guardians 3 I'm like a little bit excited for because it looks like it might be more serious, but
See, I've seen that type of trailer though with Marvel a lot, and then it ends up just being another kind of goof fest. So
if
I don't
can't,
know.
I'll go see it because now that I'm basically caught up, I'll go see them because I'm
stay on
part of
top
the
of
problem.
things.
Yeah, I'm part of the problem. Plus, those movies are more enjoyable to watch. They've been really painful to go through, like sitting at home watching them on the couch.
Yeah,
like
that's
it's
true.
not like. But if it's anything like Guardians 2, like that movie was horrible. So it better not be like that.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see.
So I don't know. I don't even know if I can score this Ant-Man movie.
Yeah, I was gonna ask.
I can't. I don't think I can.
Would you
I
give
can't.
it?
I can't score it.
I'll give the enjoyment I got from watching MODOK on the screen a 10 out of 10.
Everything else?
The movie was, crap, and I'm not even like scoring him a 10 out of 10. I'm like,
The experience.
The
Yeah.
emotional experience that you got from this movie is a 10 out of
it's
10.
I think I'd like another day, like if I was watching that movie at home and like his face showed up, I might like, if that's like on Disney Plus, I might be just like turn the movie off. I feel like
Like, if you're going to go see this movie, make sure you do it with friends that you laugh at a lot of stuff with.
Definitely.
Because you're going to have a good time if you do that.
yeah.
I'd
Yeah,
almost
I'm gonna-
recommend the movie. Like, I like that's the only way I could recommend the movie is in that setting and in that mindset, I'd feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would rent out a theater and just sit in there by myself so I can just fully just laugh out loud.
Be a very expensive experience.
Not be restrained or anything.
Yeah, I'm not going to score it. I refuse to score. In the loss, I refuse. I think any score I could give it would be misleading to like what the experience is.
Yeah. A high score would would not
I can't
be
taint my
accurate, but a low
reputation
score
with a
wouldn't
high
either.
score. Like,
A low score wouldn't be either because I feel like I can't give a movie that I got that much enjoyment out of like a 3 out of 10.
just be like IGN and give it a 7. So
The gift what?
Yeah.
yes,
No
give it
way.
a 7 out of 10.
No.
They said there was
way.
great performances from Michelle Pfeiffer and Jonathan Majors.
Yeah.
I'm
Just
checking.
Kang, right?
Okay, I'm gonna check the Rotten
That's a great
Tomatoes.
name, Jonathan Majors. That's a great name.
Mr. Majors.
Yeah, I feel like that's a great name.
Yeah.
48% is the tomato meter.
Didn't that go down? I thought it was 58 a few days ago.
Yeah, it was. It was 60.
Is that
if you
the
did.
lowest Marvel?
No, Eternals.
That's the last like the Thanos me like 1 to go. That's like my actually that and the Incredible
Eternals is
Hulk.
47, so it's close.
Wow. Okay.
It's really close.
The Eternals is definitely worse.
Yeah,
It's way longer.
yeah.
It's way more boring. No MODOK.
Thankfully, yeah, that's what I'm just gonna say. Thankfully, this movie was like right at 2 hours. I think was like the runtime.
Yeah. And yeah, like I
Like-
said, the only reason I was like, please just, I hope this movie ends soon was just like, I felt bad being the idiot laughing.
I mean, maybe could have shaved a little bit, but I felt like it moved pretty quickly. Like, I'm trying to think what you could
Pretty
have shaved out of it.
much.
Maybe like, I don't know. Maybe like some of the Resistance people, like they didn't really do anything.
That chick was buff.
Yeah, she was. She was ripped.
And what else did she looks super familiar.
She did. I don't know what she's in.
I couldn't place it.
Yeah.
somebody gave it a 0 out of 10 on Rotten Tomatoes. And yet there it was, that thought, overarching and overwhelming. I didn't feel a thing.
Oh, I felt so much during that movie. Like I was like,
I felt something.
oh man. I'm trying to think what else. That's really the main thing to talk about this week, I feel like, was our experience at the theater.
Yeah.
Oh, we could talk about the newest episode of The Last of Us. Are you almost caught up, Will?
And that's our show for today.
Have you not watched any more?
She was in The Mandalorian.
Okay.
Oh.
That's where I saw her.
No, you haven't.
No, but it's also, I had another super busy.
Yeah, I never buy when you say you have a super busy week. You had a busy week. Super busy? Too busy to watch an hour of television?
Gosh dang it, Will.
I want to address this, okay? I want to address this.
Will
because
hates TV.
I like TV. I really like TV. I have a hard time watching stuff on my own.
Oh.
You get scared?
No, not at all. And I enjoy plenty of, like, the times I sit down and I watch stuff, I enjoy it. But, like, I think I'm engaging my mind, but I can't, like, there's nothing that I'm doing that I'm not making any decisions during the movie. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Like with a video games are all about like decision making and like interaction. And that's like I can do that for longer periods of time better. It's like why I don't know. I think you get what I'm trying to say. Like there's more action. It's why I both struggle with like any kind of movie because it's like I have a hard time just sitting still. Okay. So yeah. I'm really like there's a lot of times where it's like, oh, I'll catch up on The Last of Us tonight, and like I get distracted pretty easily.
Did you find it that difficult though when you were watching Andor?
I watched Andor with my dad.
Oh,
so
and you said
week,
you don't want to watch.
No, I don't want to watch The Last of Us with my dad. So, I think part of it is that it probably is a little too violent for him.
Sure, yeah.
The show's not as violent as the game, though.
Yeah,
I'll say that.
Not yet, anyway.
Not yet until season 2 is going to happen.
This latest episode was great. I think it was probably my favorite episode, to be honest. So.
Yeah, and I'm looking for. I'm thinking of trying to take because I have Monday off from work.
Oh, for Washington's birthday?
Yeah. So I was thinking of I might use that day to catch up on a majority of the episodes, just because currently I have no plans. So I'm gonna try to do that. So next week I'll make it a priority to have a couple of episodes of The Last of Us under our belt, so we can talk like we could do a big Last of Us episode.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. We could do a big Last of Us episode next.
Because there's only 4 episodes left, I believe. We're over halfway through the.
Yeah, there's 9 total.
So, yep.
So next week let's cover to episode 6, which comes out Sunday.
Okay.
Sounds good. Cool.
Yes, sir. Will.
Cool. Now that I made it a point.
I can't wait till next week when we're like, all right, time to talk about the. Will's like,
no,
well,
it'll happen.
I had a 20-hour gaming session of Genshin Impact.
Stop. I don't play Genshin. I just want to put that out there.
I'm gonna keep spreading the rumor that you play Genshin Impact.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like an anime, like weeb game, like
where you like buy
characters.
characters.
Sure you don't play that game?
Yeah, no, I don't play that game.
That sounds like your type of game.
Will spent $600 on skins, like on outfits for his female character.
No, stop. Nope. It did not happen. This is slanderous.
It's fake news.
Fake news.
I watched another movie that was pretty good.
Last night?
No, 2 nights ago.
Oh, okay.
It was called The Stranger on Netflix, starring Joel Edgerton and Jared Harris. Australian film, like kind of like a crime thriller. And I knew all I knew was like the IMDb description of it, and I thought it was gonna be a completely different movie than what it ended up being, and it was like really good. Like it was like kind of a fun like cat and mouse type.
Oh, okay. Where did you hear about it?
I had just seen it on Netflix. It's a Netflix original movie.
Okay.
And I like Joel Edgerton
a
decent amount. But like it's basically, I'll just say the basic premise is like this guy, it starts with a guy on a bus, Jared Harris, and he's like this kind of like older, like kind of sickly guy that's like down on his luck in Australia. And he meets this guy that like tells him like, oh, I can get you a job with this dude doing some like kind of shady work. But it very quickly reveals that Joel Edgerton's character is like, he's introduced as like this like kind of crime guy that's doing this stuff. But then it's very quick. I don't think this is really spoilers because it happens in like the first probably 20 minutes of the movie. It's revealed that like Joel Edgerton's character is an undercover police officer that's involved in this giant operation to try to get Jared Harris's character suspected of kidnapping a child like 8 years before. And it's this massive police undercover operation where they're trying to get him to confess to this crime. Like the entire thing, like all their crime stuff they're doing is like all like fabricated and staged. And they're just trying to like get him to trust this guy enough to confess to this crime. Like, but they don't even know if he did it. He's like one of like 6 people that like is a suspect. And it's just like this really slow burn of these 2 guys spending a ton of time together.
What was the movie called?
The Stranger. I felt like it was a very like interesting watch.
Sean Harris.
My bad. Jared Harris is the dude from Chernobyl or whatever in Mad Men. I think Sean Harris, totally different looking people. My bad.
Are they related?
I don't think so. Maybe they are. I would recommend it. It's a pretty interesting movie.
Oh, he's in Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like a bad.
I'm gonna kill all of you.
He's what's his name? Solomon Lane.
Yeah. The end is coming. That's what he sounds like.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. So that was the other movie I watched, and Thor: Love and Thunder.
I love Thor: Love and Thunder.
When Thor gave the kids like powers, I literally was like, I can't deal with this right now.
That
Like,
movie.
Yeah, the group chat when you were watching that was really funny. You're just
I couldn't.
oh
I'm
my
like,
gosh.
I can't. Like my watching I started the movie like a week and a half ago, and I watched 10 minutes and I turned it off because I couldn't. Like I watched like the opening with Gore, and then it got to like Thor with the Guardians of the Galaxy. And I'm like, I can't do this tonight. Turned it off.
Not only is that movie stupid and dumb, but it's such a waste of Christian Bale.
It's a waste of Christian Bale. It's a waste of Natalie Portman. It's a waste of Tessa Thompson.
Yeah.
It's a waste of. I mean, all these actors are good actors
Yeah.
that are wasted in a movie. Like,
And I would say Natalie Portman was probably the better part of the movie.
yeah, but like also
not
if
saying a lot.
if the movie's not going to treat it seriously, that she has like stage 4 cancer, then how am I supposed to treat it seriously? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. So I watched the first 10 minutes one night, and then I watched like 50 more minutes like 2 nights later. Had to turn it off again because I just like it was draining me. It was like really early. I'm like, I'm so tired. I can't watch this anymore. I went to bed, and then I powered through. But yeah, there's no hope for Marvel. They're like going downhill fast.
They really are. And there's a clear line of like, okay, pretty much everything after phase 3 just was crap. I mean, Spider-Man was
great.
was really good.
Spider-Man, Shang-Chi.
Shang-Chi was okay.
It was okay.
I want to. Yeah, I agree.
Or you just listen to movies?
No. I'm just saying when you say it's crap, like I want to say things that are not crap because I don't
Shang-Chi
think
wasn't crap. Shang-Chi was
okay, not
I think
crap.
I think Shang-Chi was in line with like the
Ant-Man 1.
Like yeah, the Ant-Man 1, the Iron Man 2s, the like kind of just like the more forgettable, but like a little bit more.
I thought it was better than Iron Man 2. I want to put it out there. Hold on, let me look at Black Panther 2. Not crap.
I liked Black Panther 2 a lot.
Black Panther 2 was good. I liked it better than the first one.
I did too. I thought it had like way more
Yeah.
like the stakes felt higher. There was like way more on the line.
And obviously the emotion of that movie was
Yeah.
very real and
Yep.
very taken seriously.
And it also didn't feel as much like a like cookie cutter Marvel. Like I don't know, it felt
Not
different.
really. I did have some pacing issues with that movie, but overall I think it
I didn't like the I didn't like the student character that like
she was the
was
worst part of
annoying.
the movie.
Yeah,
she was like,
part
I'm
of
like,
the movie.
how does she have all these like
She was the
like
worst part. Yeah.
Yes, and I want to give a shout out to
Shout out.
Werewolf by Night.
oh yeah, great, excellent.
Yeah.
That's
I
technically
haven't
phase
seen
4,
that yet.
and that is amazing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Might be the best thing to come out of phase 4.
She-Hulk.
Never seen She-Hulk.
Better than Spider-Man?
No, Spider-Man.
it'd be up there with
I
Spider-Man.
cried during Spider-Man.
Spider-Man probably is better.
I
but
cried during Ant-Man.
Werewolf by Night is up
Lost
there.
Quantumania. But they were
You
different.
cried for the wrong reasons.
They were different tears.
I can't. Yeah. I kept like I for times I thought you were just cold because you had like your coat up, and I'm like, is he really still like can't like get a grip on like what's going on? Like,
It seriously was like the rest of the movie. It was just constant laughter.
yeah.
I'd have like
You must have slept really good last. Like you must have been
I was
tired.
exhausted. Like that was one of the most exhausting movie experiences I've sat through. And there were like 10 seconds of like, okay, I'm calm. I was gone. If I was an actor, could you imagine like? I mean, obviously they don't
never-
have that on set, but they did have like a 3D printed thing that looked like him. Even that,
I don't think I could.
how do you
have
get
acted.
through any scene by looking at that? By
Yeah.
trying to act across from that?
I don't know.
Oh my gosh,
I don't think I could have done.
I could never be a professional.
They're
actor.
professionals is the answer.
There's no way.
I don't think I could act in like a green screen fest movie. Like I don't think I could act at
Dude,
all. But
you
like
should-
I feel like it'd be.
You should
So-
watch Ian McKellen's breakdown on the Hobbit set.
Oh, that's
it's really
depressing.
sad. It's really depressing.
That's
Yeah, I shouldn't have mentioned that because like Michael and I, it's depressing. And then Land's over here like cackling. Like
It is because it wasn't like the Lord of the Rings were like almost all practical, right?
Yes.
And like
a lot of. I mean, they were still some like blue screen, green screen stuff going on, but a lot of the Hobbit stuff, since it was shot in 3D, they couldn't do a lot of the forced perspective special effects that they did for Lord of the Rings. So a lot of that with shooting in Hobbiton and just shooting with different sized species, they had to do green screen. And I mean, yeah, I think it would be really depressing sitting in a green room all by yourself, just trying to convey some type of emotion to this tennis ball.
Yeah, it's pretty sad.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't why I became an actor, blah, blah.
Yeah. I feel bad for laughing.
Yeah, you should, because it was like easily one of the most depressing things I've ever seen an
At
actor
the same
do.
time, though, it's like, oh, just shut up. You're an actor.
You made a lot of money.
Like, you have no problems.
Yeah.
Just stop. Anyway. Yeah. MODOK.
Great movie.
MODOK. Yeah.
I'm going to give it 2 MODOKs up.
A MODOK out of 10. Yeah. That's the rating for this
How
movie.
many
The
MODOK?
official rating.
I'm going to give it 2 out of 2 MODOK butt cheeks.
Oh.
Yeah.
That was insane. It was an insane experience. Like, they greenlit that. Like, they could have easily, like, cut his, you know what I mean? Like, if they were like, oh, we can't have that. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Or like, you didn't have to be so true to the comic book design. Like, I would have.
how are like comic purists like reacting to this movie? Like, how are like the big Marvel fanboys? Are they disappointed? Are they angry? Are they outraged? Like, were they just?
I don't know. Who knows? Who can tell? I know how I felt though. So anything else you guys want to talk about?
Not really.
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good too. I've been playing Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah, how is it good?
It's really good. I can't really think of anything so far that I'm like, not a fan. The traversal is a lot of fun. The combat is so unique, and it feels really good, especially with PS5 with it has the haptic feedback stuff. Because I mean, it's all long distance combat, but it kind of feels like you're doing punching and kicking and stuff like that. But it's all spell work, so it does a really good job at feeling unique, and so that's been a lot of fun. Obviously the world design is just really good. They really took their time with details from the lore of the Harry Potter universe.
Is there a lot of choices you can make, like that impact like quests and stuff? Like,
I think so, and I think there's even like specific quests that aren't available for like for all houses.
Oh, okay.
So like I just did one that's like specific to the Hufflepuff house.
Oh,
that nobody else can do, which
replay.
I think it's cool because
Replay
you could just go back and replay in a different house and get a different experience.
Yeah.
And I think you can like pretty clearly like decide not to be evil and not use the darker magic stuff.
Are you doing that? You're not gonna be evil.
I don't think I've got to the point where I can decide, but I think I'm close, and I don't know what I'm going to decide yet.
Oh,
we'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah.
What house are you? Are you Hufflepuff?
Hufflepuff. Yeah.
As a Muggle, would I like this game?
As a Muggle, I don't think you can play it.
Oh, dude,
you're not.
It's like Duck Game. Like it just won't work.
Dave actually texted me the other day, and he got sorted. He's Do you guys want to guess what house he is?
Slytherin.
I'm gonna say he was Ravenclaw.
He's Ravenclaw.
He probably manipulated the question, so you get that. So.
I would guess either Slytherin or Ravenclaw for Dave.
What would you think I am?
You're probably a Ravenclaw.
Yeah.
What am I, Mick? What am I?
Hufflepuff.
Dude, Hufflepuff's awesome.
Puff.
We're very earthy.
Earthy. It's been a while since I took the sorting. Is that the thing you do online, right?
Yeah. I think it's wizardingworld.com or something.
Should I do it?
You should do it.
I did it once before, like when I was a lot younger. Are you allowed to do it twice?
I think you just need a different email, I think. But yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. The story itself has been a lot more mysterious than I thought, because you start as a 5th year and I still don't really know why yet.
Oh.
So they've kept a lot from you still.
Did they like allude that something happened or something? Like
kind of, yeah. It's like you're definitely a unique situation of a student, and it's figuring out the mystery of like why. And you might be like
the chosen.
You might be like not the first.
What, like to get transferred?
I don't want to say more.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This is what to make me buy the game.
Is this a game I could play in a party? Can I play this game in a party or no?
I guess it depends on what you do, because there are a lot of like side quest stuff you could do, like exploring. It's a lot like kind of how Zelda games are, where you're like, I'm going to go through this little dungeon thing and do some puzzles and get to the end and, that type of stuff. And so if you do like more stuff like that, probably, but I would say for like the main quest stuff, I probably wouldn't, but that's just me.
Okay. Maybe I'll check it out. I kind of want an itching open world game. So maybe
it's pretty good.
I play Dead Space, but too scary. I have to take breaks very frequently. I can only play for a little bit.
What if one of the creatures shows up and it looks like MODOK?
Oh my god, it'd be hard to shoot his limbs off because they're so small. That's the scariest thing in Dead Space is like you're like trying to like angle your shots, like blow like their legs off, and slow them down, like, and then they're like crawling, and then you're like stomping on them trying to kill them. Like,
no thanks. I'll stick with Hogwarts.
Yeah, probably less scary.
A little bit, a little bit less scary. Anyway, so I think that'll be it for this episode.
Cool. Watch Ant-Man by Hogwarts.
Yes. I won't spoil what Dave is doing today, but I'll let him talk about that.
You'll hear about it on the news.
Yeah, you probably will. This just in.
Oh no.
Anyway, so we'll talk to you guys later, and have a great week.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye,
everybody.
Farewell. Welcome back.
I'm not a dick.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of the Hotkeys podcast. You can find us on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, CastBox, YouTube, and other podcasting platforms. Visit our website, www.hotkeyspodcast.com. Follow us on Twitter at Hotkeys Podcast and join our Facebook group at facebook.com/HKHotkeys. Please like and review us and subscribe to the show on whichever platforms you use. Finally, you can contact us via email at hosts@hotkeyspodcast.com.